I may not be a smart man, but, I know something's fucked up when I see it.
All right, y'all. Buckle the hell up, because today's story is about Grifty and Lord. This one is chef's kiss levels of stupid. So she hops online with this big, dramatic, I found old memories from the house where everything happened moment, digging through those same crusty-ass boxes she's been recycling for years, like it's a seasonal decoration bin from Walmart. And magically, inside this same box she's shown multiple times, she suddenly finds the infamous prescription pad. Girl, be serious. First of all, no pharmacy would have filled a damn thing off that pad. Not one. It doesn't have the watermark, doesn't have the security features, and Dee Dee didn't have the DEA number required to write anything controlled anyway. You can't just scribble something on a piece of hospital letterhead and expect Walgreens to be like, yes, ma'am, absolutely, here's 6 gallons of morphine. That's not how any of this works. And second, this box, this legendary, miraculous, never-ending, plot twist-producing box, has appeared in multiple videos over the last decade. Her dad and stepmom went through it on camera years ago. Nothing. Not a peep about a prescription pad. No gasp, no dramatic reveal, not even a, huh, that's weird. Now suddenly it's in there? Right on top? Crisp and clean like it just clocked in for work? But wait, it gets dumber. Her stepmom, Krusty, claimed she found the pad back when she was cleaning out the house after the murder while Grifty was locked up. She said it was covered in cat poop and she turned it over to police. So how does the same prescription pad magically teleport back into a memory box for TikTok story time? Did the cops return it covered in sparkles and lies? Did the cat do an encore? Make it make sense? Spoiler, it doesn't, because nothing she says ever does. This desperate attempt to rewrite history doesn't help her. It doesn't make her look like a victim. It doesn't undo anything. All it does is remind the public again that she cannot keep a story straight to save her life. She lies so much she probably forgets which version she told 10 minutes ago. And her little online defenders, the doxers, the bullies, the ones who stay high enough to orbit Saturn while spreading whatever new narrative she feeds them, they don't help either. They just make everything look even more chaotic and pathetic. Here's the truth. Being sneaky is not the same as being smart. Manipulating people is not the same as having intelligence. She's not some mastermind, she's a scammer who keeps getting caught because she genuinely thinks everyone else is dumber than she is. The public isn't buying it anymore. They're tired. They've seen the inconsistencies, the contradictions, the recycled props, the fake evidence, the endless theatrics. She is desperate for sympathy that she will never get back. Not now. Not ever. The world watched, the world listened, and the world said, nah, we're done. And instead of accepting that, she digs through her Dollar Tree box of plot holes and pulls out a prescription pad like it's going to be her redemption arc. It's embarrassing, truly. Anyway, let's talk about it.
Oh my god, Gypsy found a totally generic templated prescription pad that you could easily buy and do off the internet for yourself. Wow, this really proves that you're less of a murderer. This really proves that your mother was so fucking awful. Oh wow, it's totally unused and free of depression and imprintation marks at all. And she flips it around and shows the RX, which doesn't have a raised seal, no void mark, none of the features which are used for a verifiable prescription pad and that are required by Medicaid, a federal mandate in 2008 that made where it was you had to have tamper resistant fucking features, so prevention of unauthorized copying. The word void appears in a pattern across the front or using security watermarks on the back. Features designed to prevent the erasure or modification of information written by the prescriber, such as using chemical void protection. There's no NPI, no DEI numbers, nothing, no unique serial numbers or batch numbers, using thermochromic ink that changes color with the temperature as mandated for Medicaid recipients. Or keep in mind that Gypsy was on a lot of occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, feeding tube, had DME, durable medical equipment, and for all of these things you had to have a standing written fucking order or written out like medication. So physical therapy 3 times a week, speech therapy 4 times a week, and would be written out just as a fucking medication would be. My best guess is this is used intraclinically, intra-office, only in Children's Mercy hospitals and not verifiable anywhere outside of that. Or it's a version of their clinic intake forms, and they use it for like medical information and intake information. Or my feeling is she was given this fucking pad when the switchover was happening because it was no longer legitimate and it was no longer good. So none of it makes sense. I don't know why posting this, she feels so vindicated that it's a completely unused, old ass worthless fucking pad that just so happens to have like prescriber's name or whatever. That's worthless. Without the DEI, without a fucking watermark and a verified fucking prescription pad, no matter the time frame she's stating when it was the height of the fucking opioid epidemic, yeah, this would have never fucking flied. And all the medications that you were on were entirely fucking reasonable and entirely fucking generic. There was nothing fucking significant about the type of medications you were taking. What is this supposed to prove? That what? That you're more justified in fucking slaughtering your own mother? No, it just proves that your fucking narcissism and your ego and your fucking delusion knows no fucking bounds. That here you are grasping at every fucking hairy little string that you can to prove that you're not the manipulative fucking fraud that we know you are. This just only makes you look more fucking desperate and more guilty.
If she truly had Munchausen by proxy, the visits wouldn't have lessened.
But do you know one of the reasons why? Because she sold that prescription pad.
So do you know one of the reasons why? It's because of that prescription pad. So Mimi or whoever is speaking here says, look, after the hospital visits stopped, after the microdeletion was diagnosed, everything slowed down, nothing really what was going on, right? And in response, Christy's response to that is, yeah, but she had that prescription pad. You don't know about the prescription pad. So what is she saying here? Is she saying that because Dee Dee had this, let me bring it up, this prescription pad, that somehow this would prevent Dee Dee from having to go to the doctor? Well, a couple of problems with that. Number one, if you truly have Munchausen by proxy, I don't care what the hell you have in your house, or how many prescription pads you have, that doesn't have anything to do with it. The main motivation of people with Munchausen by proxy is the accolades, is getting to that hospital, is having the doctors and the nurses fawn over them, right? Right? That's what it is. Look it up. Prescription pad, that's not going to stop someone with truly has Munchausen by proxy from getting back to the hospital with their kid. It's a compulsion. It's an obsession. So right off the bat, this theory of Christie's that because of the prescription pad, that this would somehow explain the lessen doctor visits after the microdeletion was diagnosed makes no sense. The other thing is the prescription pad in itself. No one's using these prescription pads to write anything. Let's break this down a little bit. Okay, let's say Dee Dee or Gypsy swap these pads at Mercy Hospital, right? Okay, do they know the DEA number of the doctor? No, they don't. They don't. Okay. And what kind of drugs would be written on a Children's Mercy Hospital? Are you going to write for like Xanax level? I mean, are you going to be writing for oxycodone? I mean, do you know the dosage? Do you know how to even write a prescription? How to actually write it as a doctor would write it? There's actual lingo and stuff, right? Then you've got to do the signature. Now, way back when they wrote prescriptions like this, when you actually had a prescription in your hand, a lot of times they would look at the signature. You have got to be kidding me. These were not used. If they were, we would have known because they would have been caught in a hot second trying to do this.
So for those of you that don't know what this is and what this is all about, so in my documentary, Christy had talked about finding a prescription pad underneath my mom's bed when they went to go get some of our stuff from the old Habitat house. So until now, it had never been photographed or seen in documentaries or anything. And so I recently came across it in a box of old photos. To my knowledge, it has never been used. I don't know. I mean, I could at least say there's no documentation of my mom using it. I don't know when she took it. It would have had to been between years 2006 to 2015. But it is legit. It's real. It's not this reflective thing on the back. So I don't want to keep it. I don't want it in my house. I'm taking full opportunity to document its existence. But a bigger conversation needs to be had about how was she able to even get this. So I just I might be acting on emotion right now because it's like I've heard of it, but to actually see it, it's a whole different other ballgame. And so I just want to if the nurses or the doctors of this hospital is even looking at this right now, watching this video, this needs to be your highest priority. Oh. This is just as important as your badge, as your license. You do not leave this for people to find or whatever. This is not a toy. This is medical equipment.
You are
And my mind is blown. My mind is just blown, okay? I think I'm within my right to be upset. I really am. I think people need to have these conversations. Doctors, nurses, whatever, if you're watching.
I think you need to stop manipulating people.
Do not leave this for people to get.
Don't steal
it. May be too late for me,
Gypsy.
but do better. For real. Be fucking for real. Do better.
So I'm spending my Saturday night going through old photographs. I'm looking for a very specific photo. But if anybody watched my documentary, if you remember Christy saying that she found a prescription pad, well, look what I found. It's still there. That's wild. I just want to get my pictures.
Okay, I'll get you the pictures.
Okay.
I don't want to run.
Are you gonna... You know I got more stuff. You gonna get my dresses and my stuff that's in my closet?
Nope. Just the pictures.
Cool. Alright, that's the main important things.
This was probably close to the first year or two when she was in a wheelchair. Last 14 years in a wheelchair.
I couldn't imagine.
So I'm spending my Saturday night going through old photographs. I'm looking for a very specific photo. But if anybody watched my documentary, if you remember Christy saying that she found a prescription pad, well, look what I found. It's still there. That's wild. I just want to get my pictures.
Okay, I'll get you the pictures.
Okay.
I don't want to run.
Are you gonna... You know I got more stuff. You gonna get my dresses and my stuff that's in my closet?
Nope. Just the pictures.
Cool. Alright, that's the main important things.
This was probably close to the first year or two when she was in a wheelchair. Last 14 years in a wheelchair.
I couldn't imagine.
So please do not zoom in on my gigantic blemish. Sorry, I had to start off that. So this is an update. I Googled where I could take the prescription pad to be disposed of, and Google said that I can deliver it to hand it over to a pharmacy. And on my gigantic blemish. Sorry, I had to start off that. So this is an update. I Googled where I could take the prescription pad to be disposed of, and Google said that I can deliver it to hand it over to a pharmacy. So a pharmacy is a little closer than a police station for me right now. So I'm going to go and bring it. And I'm going to record the whole thing. So let's go. Okay, thank you. So, I was going through a box of old photos, and this is like 15 years old. My mom had stole this from a hospital, and I wanted to turn it in. Googled, I could bring it to a pharmacy. Yeah, so I'll turn it for you. All right, thank you so much. Have a good day. You too. Okay.
That video of her at the pharmacy, there's a cut. So I bet after she was like, my mom stole this from the hospital, she was probably like, I'm Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And she had what was said that she cut? Why didn't we get to see it? That video of her at the pharmacy, there's a